Let's get straight into it. Alicia Keys. Didn't most of us grow up absolutely loving her music? I know I did. So, when this story started making noise online, I instantly thought, wait, we have to talk about this. The rumors are messy. People are saying that Alicia's husband, Swizz Beatz, might have cheated on her, allegedly with LaLa Anthony. On top of that, there's also gossip floating around that Alicia and Swizz could possibly be swingers. Now, whether that's true or not, what people are really buzzing about is the idea that Swizz and LaLa are supposedly madly in love. The twist? Swizz allegedly refuses to leave his wife, Alicia Keys. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Radio host Miss Jones claimed that Swizz actually had to tell LaLa to chill out. Why? Because LaLa would often be the very first person to drop repeated comments under his Instagram posts. According to Miss Jones, Swizz was worried that her constant behavior would give away their secret relationship. Now think about it. If someone feels secure in an affair, they don't really need to go online and leave comment after comment to stake a claim. That kind of petty move comes from insecurity. Miss Jones says this tea actually came to her through a DM from someone close to Swizz's camp. And if that's true, the big question becomes, is Alicia Keys quietly heading for divorce? Miss Jones explained how this information first landed in her inbox. Here's the direct quote she shared, word for word.
Because I held this in for an entire year, right? So when we first launched the reunion show, somebody that claims to be working in Swizz's camp reached out to me in what I now know is a DM via direct messenger, right? Saying, I work for Swizz and I need you to know that him and LaLa have been having an affair. They are madly in love with each other, but he has already told LaLa and continues to tell her, calm down, I'm not leaving my wife. If you don't believe me, go on his page on IG. He always starts leaving comments in the morning and she be the first one to respond. But she don't just leave one response. She keeps it going and going and going to the point where he says, you got to chill because it's starting to look obvious to my wife. So I said, who are you and why are you giving this information to me? God, I love you. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. But I'm not going to be the one. I'm not going to be the one to mess up my new chance by taking this information and running with it. So I never went hard with it. I might have mentioned it slightly, but I never went hard with it. Then, so like a little after that, Alicia Keys drops an album or a single. Mike, tell her the title.
The title would be LaLa.
From this, two things stand out clearly. First, the source insisted they worked inside Swizz's circle and provided very specific details, from Instagram behavior down to Swizz allegedly telling LaLa directly, you got to chill. Second, Miss Jones herself admitted she chose not to push this story too hard. She didn't want to risk her platform or her career by blasting unconfirmed drama, so she kept it low-key. Still, just knowing that these claims existed, and were, detailed enough to involve daily Instagram habits, gave the rumors a lot more weight. It was no longer just vague gossip. It felt like there was a pattern forming behind the scenes. Not long after that, something else caught fans' attention. Alicia Keys released a song titled LA, and Swizz Beatz went ahead and shared it on his Instagram. Credit where it's due, Miss Jones was among the first to spotlight this. Tea and the chatter snowballed once the Jasmine brand posted about it on social. That's when Swizz chimed in publicly, and it wasn't subtle. He commented, knock it TF off. Then came a bigger shock. On August 5th, reports started circulating that Alicia Keys was preparing to file for divorce from Swizz Beatz, tied to allegations that he fathered a child with another woman. The timing made people talk even more because the couple had just passed their 15th wedding anniversary without posting about each other. A quiet milestone that fans read as a red flag. An Instagram blogger, ANoSleepBot411, claimed the alleged affair escalated into a court-ordered paternity test. The story, as told, was that Swizz initially didn't want to acknowledge the pregnancy. After the baby was born, the woman took him to court. From there, the rumor mill kicked into high gear, and multiple outlets began repeating the another child angle. In other words, this wasn't just about LaLa anymore. The narrative had widened to include an alleged entirely separate child. That lit the fuse like many scandals. This one found its spark in a grainy, low-resolution clip that slipped onto a niche fan forum in the dead of night. At first glance, it seemed like yet another private moment caught on camera. But within hours, timelines lit up. People paused, rewound, and looked again. The man in the video, the chain, the cadence, Viewers were convinced it was Swizz Beatz, and the woman with him looked unmistakably like LaLa Anthony. It didn't stop at a single clip either. More timestamps surfaced, allegedly spanning different years and locations, with changing hairstyles and backdrops, but always the same two people, together, and in intimate settings. That visual element changed the tone of the conversation. What had been brushed off by some as rumor suddenly felt more concrete to the audience. Once you introduce video into the mix, whether fuzzy or not, the speculation takes on momentum. Headlines followed, reactions piled up, and the story moved from whispers to a full-blown online wildfire. Unfortunately for Alicia Keys, this isn't the first time Swizz Beatz has faced accusations of stepping outside his marriage. In fact, people have pointed out that Alicia herself was once considered the other woman. Here's the backstory. Before marrying Alicia, Swizz was married to singer Mashonda. Mashonda has been open about her belief that Swizz's relationship with Alicia was the reason her marriage ended. According to her, his bond with Alicia grew while he was still with her, ultimately causing their split. Swizz went on to marry Alicia Keys, and together they've built a family with 2 kids. But now, with all of these current rumors, the alleged affair with LaLa Anthony, the supposed secret child, some fans can't help but wonder, is Swizz repeating the same cycle all over again? Now let's shift gears. Because while all of that drama was unfolding, Kim Kardashian found her way into a completely different story. And if you followed her for years, you might have noticed the same pattern others have. Whenever Kim doesn't have anything headline-worthy going on, she somehow inserts herself into major conversations, often around criminal cases or mysteries. This time, it was the tragic case of Amy Bradley. Many people, including Kim herself, watched the Netflix documentary on Amy's disappearance. And like so many viewers, she was shaken. Kim even took to her Instagram stories to post about it. Her exact words were, "This doc is blowing my mind. Must see. Amy Bradley is missing. We must find Amy." That post reignited attention on the decades-old mystery. And interestingly, Amy's brother Brad Bradley noticed. After seeing Kim's reaction, he reportedly reached out, asking her for help and resources to try and track down his missing sister. The documentary itself retraced the final known hours of Amy Bradley's life. She had been on a Caribbean cruise with her family back in March of 1998. At first, everything appeared normal. They enjoyed dinner, relaxed, and eventually went to bed. Around 5:30 in the morning, Amy's father spotted her sitting out on the balcony. Nothing seemed unusual at that moment. But when he woke again just 30 minutes later, Amy was gone. Her father immediately began searching, checking every inch of the ship. He alerted the crew, desperate to find his daughter. But as time passed, panic spread. According to him, the captain eventually admitted the situation was complicated. Without a body, they couldn't confirm whether she had fallen overboard, or if something else had happened. Witnesses added chilling details. One said they remembered seeing Amy with a man on the boat that night, and the encounter gave them a bad feeling. Even more unsettling, suspicion later fell on that same man, to the point that his own daughter questioned whether he had told the truth. Amy's sudden disappearance, paired with those uneasy sightings, left behind a haunting mystery filled with more questions than answers. Years later, Amy's brother, Brad Bradley, still refused to give up hope. After Kim Kardashian posted about the Netflix documentary, he saw a rare opportunity. He sent her a direct message pleading for assistance. In it, he suggested pulling in not only Kim's influence but also that of President Trump and Rihanna. His reasoning was simple. Rihanna, being from Barbados, had a direct connection to the region where Amy went missing. Trump, on the other hand, had a history of latching onto trending topics, and Brad believed he might lend resources if the case gained enough visibility. And of course, Kim herself had already shown interest by publicly declaring, "We must find Amy." For Brad, this wasn't about celebrity endorsements. It was about leveraging any platform possible to finally bring attention back to his sister's disappearance. After Brad's heartfelt message, silence followed. Kim Kardashian never publicly responded, and the request seemed to disappear into the noise of social media. For the Bradley family, it was another painful reminder of how quickly the world moves on, even when their lives remain frozen in the same nightmare. Every day without answers was another wound. Brad had reached out with nothing but hope hope that Kim, with her influence and resources, might push Amy's case back into the spotlight. But instead, the silence echoed louder than any reply could have. Decades later, Amy Bradley's disappearance still haunts not only her family but also anyone who has heard her story. Rumors have persisted that she may have been taken, possibly trafficked, and sightings have been reported in different parts of the world. None have ever been confirmed. Her parents and brother refuse to let go of the possibility that Amy is still alive. They've carried the weight of uncertainty for more than 2 decades, the grief of not knowing, the torture of imagining what could have happened, and the fragile hope that one day she might be found. As the documentary showed, Amy's story isn't just a cold case. It is a tragedy that lingers, a reminder of how a single morning on a cruise ship changed everything for one family. And even though celebrities and headlines may come and go, the Bradley family's search for Amy is relentless and a testament to love, resilience, and the unshakable belief that the truth will eventually surface. Her father's last sight of her was on that balcony, just before sunrise. In the stillness of that moment, no one could have imagined that it would be the final memory he would carry for decades. For the Bradley family, Amy is not a headline or a mystery. She is a daughter, a sister, and a soul they will never stop searching for.